She rejected my touch. I removed my presence. She lost control and freaked out when I ghosted her. You know what hurts more than getting cheated on? It's when the person you love the most starts treating your touch like it's something to avoid. Like you're the problem just for trying to be close. That was the night everything inside me flipped. No yelling, no fight, just a quiet moment in the dark that changed how I saw her and how I saw myself. Her name was Vanessa. Before we dive deeper into this story, do me a quick favor. Hit that like button, drop a comment below with where you're watching from, and tell me, have you ever felt invisible in your own relationship? And of course, subscribe if you want more real, raw stories like this. We were married for 6 years. Lived just outside of Denver in a modest but comfortable house. Nothing fancy, but I was proud of it. I worked construction, long days, longer weeks, sometimes Saturdays. I wasn't rich, but we never missed a bill. We had food, we had heat, we had Netflix and takeout on Sundays. From the outside, you'd think we were solid. But inside those walls, man, it had been hollow for months. At first, I told myself it was just a rough patch. She was stressed. Work was getting to her. Maybe it was hormones. Maybe just burnout. I was patient. I backed off when she needed space. I cooked when she was too tired. I rubbed her feet even when she didn't ask. But something changed. Subtle at first, less eye contact, fewer laughs. Her hugs started to feel more like polite pats than anything else. And when I kissed her, she'd barely move her lips, just there, physically present, but emotionally vacant. Still, I didn't press. I thought maybe she just needed time to reconnect. Maybe she was overwhelmed and didn't know how to say it. But the real breaking point came one night. It was late, maybe close to midnight. I had just finished fixing a water leak in the guest bathroom. She was already in bed, scrolling through her phone, blue light glowing on her face like it was the only thing keeping her company. I was tired. Not just physically, but emotionally drained. I missed her. Missed us. So, I got in bed, turned off the lamp, and gently reached over. Not for sex, not for anything big. Just to hold her, just to remind her I was there. I lay my hand on her side, soft, respectful. She flinched, not dramatically, but enough. She pulled away slightly and muttered under her breath, "Don't start. Don't start." Like I was a chore. Like my hand on her skin was a threat. Like I was some creep she tolerated because we happened to share a last name. I didn't move. I just laid there in the dark staring at the ceiling, feeling something in my chest quietly collapse. She didn't say another word, just kept scrolling. A few minutes later, she rolled over and turned her back to me. And that was it. That's when something in me died. Not love, not yet. But that blind loyalty, that hope that maybe if I just waited long enough, she'd come around. That night, I realized something. She didn't see me as her man anymore. She saw me as background noise. And if I'm being honest, it wasn't just about that moment. It was about the build-up. The way she stopped laughing at my jokes. The way she only touched me when she needed something. The way she talked to her friends with more excitement than she ever showed me. I started thinking back. When was the last time she complimented me? Said she was proud? Hell, even looked me in the eyes without that dull, bored expression? I couldn't remember. I kept giving my time, my patience, my energy, and she treated it like it was expected, like I was just doing the bare minimum of what a husband should do. But she stopped being a wife a long time ago. And that's the part nobody ever talks about. People love to shame men for leaving, but they don't see what happens behind closed doors when you're being slowly erased from your own relationship. I didn't sleep that night. I got up early the next morning, made coffee like usual, and sat at the kitchen table alone. She came downstairs eventually, tied her hair up, and walked right past me like I was invisible. No, good morning. No, how'd you sleep? Just nothing. And you want to know the worst part? I still wanted her to notice me. Even after all that, after being shut out emotionally, physically, mentally, I still wanted her to turn around and say, "I'm sorry. I've been off. Let's talk." But she didn't. She poured her almond milk into her smoothie, checked her phone, and walked back upstairs. And that's when I made the real decision. Quietly, silently. I didn't confront her. I didn't ask her for anything. I didn't beg for a conversation. I just started removing myself. I stopped texting during the day to check in. Stopped planning dinners. Stopped asking what she wanted to watch. Stopped initiating affection. I became a ghost in my own home. Still paid the bills. Still folded laundry. Still showed up for the basic stuff. But my presence, my attention, my effort, gone. She didn't notice at first. Or maybe she did and just didn't care. But I knew what I was doing. I was preparing myself to walk away. Not out of spite, but because I deserved more than flinches in the dark and silence at the table. I started staying out later. Gym after work. Sometimes drinks with coworkers. I'd come home and she'd already be asleep, pretending not to notice the shift. But I knew she felt it. And slowly, she started reacting. The passive-aggressive questions began. "You've been staying out a lot, huh? Oh, you didn't cook tonight? I guess we don't talk anymore, do we?" But I didn't argue. I didn't bite. Because now, she was tasting the same emotional starvation she'd been feeding me for months. She didn't realize it yet. But I was already halfway gone. I wasn't being mean. I was finally being honest. And when a man removes his presence, really withdraws, it shakes everything. Because it's no longer about punishment. It's about self-preservation. That woman who once flinched at my touch. She was about to learn what it feels like. When a man who gave everything gives nothing. You know what makes a person lose their mind? When the thing they thought would always be there just isn't anymore. Not with a bang, not with a breakdown. Just gone. Quiet. Clean. Cold. That's what I did. After months, maybe years of chasing scraps of affection. Begging for connection. Reaching out only to get pushed away like I was doing something wrong. I finally stopped. But not in the way she expected. Vanessa was used to the idea of me being solid, predictable. She knew my routines. Knew I'd always text when I left work. Knew I'd ask if she needed anything on the way home. Knew I'd cook dinner, pay the bills, fold the towels just how she liked. Vanessa stood there, trembling. Tears streaming, but I'd seen this act before. The difference was, I wasn't in the audience anymore. "You don't get to rewrite what happened," I told her, calm as hell. I begged for scraps of affection. You gave me silence. Her lips parted like she wanted to argue, but nothing came out. Just air. Just regret. Ava watched from the bench, not threatened, not jealous. Just curious, maybe even sympathetic, because she could feel it too. The weight of something that had already died long ago. "I didn't know I was pushing you away," Vanessa whispered. "I thought we'd bounce back, like we always did." I shook my head. "We didn't bounce back. I bit until I snapped, and you never even looked up from your phone." She took a step closer, voice cracking. "Is this really it?" I glanced back at Ava, at the future, and then looked Vanessa in the eyes. "It was it the night you recoiled from my touch. This is just the part where you realize it." She stood frozen. Like she had more to say, more to plead. But even she knew it wouldn't matter now. I turned and walked away. Not out of spite. Not to make a scene. But because sometimes the strongest thing you can do is not look back. She had grown so used to me being there, even while she emotionally checked out, that I think she genuinely believed I didn't have it in me to leave. So I started pulling back. I didn't slam the brakes. I just let go of the wheel. I stopped showing up in the ways she once took for granted. No more good morning texts. No more, want me to grab anything on the way home. No more folding towels the way she liked. Just the bare minimum to keep the gears turning. The love pulled out like a power cord. And at first, she didn't even flinch. Didn't ask why. Didn't question the change. But I saw it. She started playing music in the kitchen again. Wearing makeup at home. Trying to crack jokes the same way I used to. Trying to imitate connection like a parrot mimicking real emotion. But it was too late. Because once the fire dies, all you're doing is poking ashes. Then one night, I moved out. Waited till she was at work. Packed a bag. Walked out with my gym stuff and a new lease on sanity. I crashed at my buddy Eric's place. Man's been telling me for months. "Bro, she doesn't see you anymore. You're just background noise." And he was right. At first, she blew up my phone. Voicemails, texts, crying emojis. The works. Please don't ghost me like this. I can't breathe. Funny. That's exactly how I felt, night after night, reaching for warmth and getting frostbite instead. But I didn't block her. This wasn't revenge. It was self-respect. She showed up at my job a week later. Mascara streaked. Panic all over her face. Dean, please just talk to me. I stepped outside, calm as a monk. I know I messed up, she said. But what we had, it was real. I nodded. Yeah, it was. Until you stopped treating me like I mattered. She sobbed, begged, said she didn't realize what she had. But I wasn't angry. I wasn't even cold. I was just done. Vanessa thought I'd come back. Thought it was just another phase, another silence she could wait out. But this wasn't a tantrum. This was closure. She sent messages like, "Can we just talk? I miss you. I didn't know you were hurting that much." But I'd already done all the talking I needed to. With my silence. With my absence. Week 2, her tone changed. Voicemails full of panic. "Dean, I'm losing my mind. Just talk to me. I'll do anything." But where was that anything? When I just needed a smile. When all I wanted was her to laugh at my jokes or meet me halfway in bed. Mutual friends started messaging me. "Man, she hasn't slept. She's a wreck. At least give her closure." Closure? She gave me mine. When she flinched from my hand. Like I was a stranger. She just didn't know it yet. And then came the day that sealed everything. I was at the park with Ava. New girl. Real one. She smiled with her whole face, asked how my day was, and actually listened. Warmth. Presence. Life. And guess who shows up? Vanessa. She stormed across the park like a hurricane wrapped in regret. Eyes locked on me like I'd betrayed her by finally being happy. "You're really just out here, like nothing happened?" I stood up, looked her in the eye. "Yeah, I am. With someone who sees me." She cracked, cried, shook. "You were supposed to come back." But I was already gone long before I left.